All right, let's talk about another small finance bank, Fincare Small Finance Bank, Bangalore-based, is joining us now. Mr. Yadav, the management MD and CEO of Fincare, is here with us. Mr. Yadav, thanks very much for your time. Let's start by understanding how things are on ground, especially for an organization such as yours, which had a digital-first kind of approach. How was, in the last 1.5, 2 years, adoption and technology interface, especially at the unbanked rural target audience of yours?
Thank you, Ajay. As all of us know, the last 18 months have been obviously very disturbed. But I must say that a lot of the normalization for a rural-focused bank and a bank which is largely digital in its own operations has been quite rapid. So like I was saying, COVID-2, as you all know, the infection rise was so fast, and therefore the lockdowns and the business impact was also a little rapid. But the great news is that our June performance, July performance of the bank has been very solid. We can see the rebound for our customers. Obviously, digital has played a phenomenal role in this space, and just not for our bank, for the whole world. And we are lucky that we had adopted a lot of the digital solutions prior to the COVID, because our vision was to build a digital bank for the future. And with all the digital solutions at play, where customers can adopt those solutions, our employees can do the normal operation without physical meetings, has been of immense help in this case.
Talk to us about how you're coping up, or how things are chugging back to normalcy in terms of collections.
Sure. As I said, COVID-2, the good part of COVID-2 was it was a very rapid impact to the whole environment, but also a very rapid recovery. And that is very important because you can afford a month or two of lockdown, but if it sort of extends for a longer period, then economy truly takes an impact, and also the customer income takes an impact. Our business largely being rural, we are 92% rural lending institution. As you all know that it's an economy which is largely protected. It is based on essential services. The monsoons have been good, and therefore there's a pent-up demand out there. So the customer rebound has been phenomenal. And we talk of collection efficiencies for most of our leading products. We are back to 90s in a rapid 1 or 2 months after the lockdown in May.
That's very good news, Mr. Yadav. So in this kind of optimistic scenario, we are also just, in fact, the festive season in India has actually kicked off in various parts of the country. What kind of internal targets have you set for yourself? Do you see buoyancy in the next 6 to 8 months? What's your kind of estimate on growth?
See, the overall context, as you all know, the economy has done a fairly good rebound. It's a 20% rebound in Q1 of this financial year. And although the contraction of last year in the Q1 was 24%, so technically we have not reached the Q1 level of even FY20. But I must say that this 20% rebound is quite an optimistic story, because it was in a quarter where COVID-2 impact was also embedded inside it. So the way we see is that the demand is quite strong, and I would say that there's a reasonably good chance that we may go back to a full year of a normal GDP as the FY20 numbers were, or maybe a slight growth of the FY20 numbers, and that would be very promising for all the businesses in the country. So in the same vein, making a big caveat on phase 3 or the wave 3 of COVID, which we all truly cannot predict precisely. If the wave 3 were not to hit the country as such, and especially very strong, even if it's mild, I think the country will rebound quite fast from there. Keeping that caveat aside, I see that there's a lot of pent-up demand, at least for our business, which is largely rural. The agriculture growth has been strong all these quarters, and so we should have more than a normal buoyant year, which we normally have in the past. From a festive season perspective, we do see a small uptake. But in the rural economy, the growth is largely balanced across the year with a few months of activity depending upon the crop season. So I would say a very normal year for all of us we can expect, and maybe even a slightly better than normal year. And I'm talking about pre-COVID years as a base reference.
All right, Mr. Yadav, on that optimistic note, we'll let you go. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to more discussions, more elaborate ones going forward. With that, we're completely out of time on this edition of the Newsroom. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.